Hiya bakers, Catherine here. I want to talk to you about starter. Several of you have ordered starter from Community Loaves, which is great. I love making it and sending it your way. I don't always love the packaging, so I am beginning to experiment with compostable containers for the starter. When you receive a liquid starter from me, it was made that morning, meaning it was refreshed that morning, sometime around 7:30. I'll make tubs of this starter. When you get it, it's sometime later, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You do not have to do anything with the starter that day. You should not put it in the refrigerator straight away. I want you to feed it before you put it in the refrigerator. So if you're not going to use it, feed it that day and put it in the refrigerator. Or the next morning, feed, keep her happy, and put her into rotation to use in your baking whenever you're going to do that. Now, there's about, sorry about that. I bet the mic picked that up. There's about 150 grams in here. It's not exact, and it's way more than you need. You can make some brownies, you can make some sourdough pancakes, maybe make some crackers. You want to transfer it, especially if it is in this compostable container, because it's not going to last that long. I really only need about 50 grams. So I'm going to measure out into my clean container 50 grams. Oh, I got a little bit more. That's fine. This does not have to be exact. When you Google feeding and maintaining a starter, often King Arthur, others have you feed your starters in a 1:1:1 ratio. 1 part starter, 1 part flour, 1 part water. But a healthy starter can be fed at a much different ratio. It can be 1:3:3, 1 to even 10:10. I'm being really transparent with you. I keep my starter in this container, which I just washed, transferred some of it into here for illustration purposes. It's all going to live here. And in the morning, I don't get the scale out. I just dump 2/3, 3/4 of it, and then I do use the scale to do equal parts water and flour. So it's important that it's equal parts, but you can eyeball the amount of starter that you're going to use. A good place to start, keep it simple, 1:1:1. That's a piece of cake. So I have 58 grams of starter in here. I need 58 grams of flour. In my case, I feed mine with the Trailblazer, but you can use equal parts the whole grain and the high extraction if you would like. Now, my starter was 58. I dumped 62. I'm not fishing out those 4 grams of flour. It's going to be fine. This is going to wake up, and again, remember, you can go 1:3:3, 1:4:4. It still works out, especially if you're working with a healthy starter. Now we need some water. And we want 62 grams of that to match the flour. So I'll pour that ever so carefully. Okay. Now we're going to give it a stir. We're going to set it aside. You know you have a good starter when it rises by double, predictably, every 4 to 6 hours after feeding. So we would call this a feeding. And if I got up in the middle of the night and took a peek, which I'm not going to do, it would be double. You can store your starter in the refrigerator, but not, I don't really recommend it if it's been traveling. Give it a couple of feedings. Make sure that she's happy. You can use a rubber band, like I just placed a rubber band on this container. That gives you a visual of it doubling. Put your lid on top. Set it aside. If it's particularly warm, it's gonna move faster. If you want to really nurture your starter, when it's really warm out, go ahead and give it a feeding in the morning and give it a feeding in the evening. You can also use cooler water. That's my dog scratching. I don't know. Oh, I think he's done. Oh. So use cooler water when it's really, really warm outside. Again, you have a healthy starter. You don't want to feed it every single day. Go ahead and put it in the refrigerator. Take the starter out a couple of days before you're going to use it and wake her up. So she'll be sluggish in that cold temperature. Wake her up with a couple of feedings and you'll be good to go for your community loaves. I think you can do this.